So in the virtual open week, we will be sharing some insights into EIT. You'll hear from our lecturers as well as get to hear from amazing student ambassadors for the year 2025. Now, just to go over the slide that is up on your screen today, that is the notification and sound slide. This is so that you're able to minimize any noise or any notifications that might come through whilst you are in the session. You'll be able to turn them on, of course, once the session has concluded. So today's session is going to be Why Engineering and Why EIT, and it will be presented by our Dean of Engineering, Dr. Steve Mackay, Indumathi V, who is our EIT Deputy Dean, as well as 2025 Student Ambassador, Nozibusiso Nkomo. They will all be presenting to you some information regarding the institution, and we really do hope that it is valuable to you. And now some common questions regarding the Engineering Institute of Technology and the session particularly. So please note that you will receive a copy of the slides as well as the video recording of this particular session. They will be sent to you between Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th of April. Reason being is that VOW, Virtual Open Week, will be running the whole entire week, meaning that we need to conclude all of the sessions before we're able to send you the recording as well as the PDF slides so that you guys are able to receive every recording as well as the presentations that have been done throughout the week. Okay. And the presenter today is going to be Steve Mackay, Dr. Steve Mackay, that is. He will be here with Indumathi V as well as Nozibusiso, and they will all be sharing their presentation with you today. But I would like to tell you a little bit more about EIT. So EIT, the Engineering Institute of Technology, is an engineering specialist. We offer engineering programs, and we also are accredited by the Australian government. In some of our registrations, we are accredited under the Dublin Accord, Sydney Accord, as well as the Washington Accord. And those are for some of our advanced diplomas, all our bachelor's degrees, as well as our master's degree programs. That is going to be the accreditation portion. I have actually forgotten to tell you guys, there will be certificates of attendance for this particular session. I really do apologize about that. You guys will be able to receive certificates of attendance. However, the same procedure will follow regarding the turnaround time for those certificates. You will receive them next week between the 14th and the 15th of April. And in some instances, you will be able to receive them on the Monday or on the Tuesday. In addition to that, you'll be entered into a prize if you complete the survey to see if you will be able to receive the prize. It's going to be an ebook from one of our sister companies, IDC. So please make sure that you complete the survey. All links will be provided to you guys in the chat box as well as the Q&A function. We will also have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask our presenters for the day, you are more than welcome to do so, and they will be happy to answer your questions. I believe that's it from me. Stephen Indu, you can take control of the slides and go through your presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you at the end.
Thank you very much, Ms. Marabe Piso, and very kind of you to have such a warm introduction, and my good colleague Indumathi V, our Deputy Dean, who's probably got a lot more to say than I have here. And very grateful to have Ms. Nozibusiso Nkomo here as well. So thank you very, very much for jumping in. And without any further ado, I'll kick off. I was hoping to show you a bit of equipment because we talk about online all the time, but I just want to emphasize that this is a key part of our toolbox, and it's a key part of your learning. So hopefully we can get onto that in a tick. So what I want to do is talk a little bit. I'll tic-tac with my good colleague Indu, who'll probably give you a more glamorized introduction than I will. And she will say a few words. She's passionate about engineering education as well. And we basically want to focus on job outcomes. So our most important thing with us is jobs, jobs, jobs. And I always say that there's a very, it depends on your political persuasion, infamous or famous American president, and he said, drill, baby, drill, which is probably very controversial. Our mantra is jobs, baby, jobs. And that is the most important thing with our courses. We want them to be career focused so you can build yourself up and your community. So that is really probably one of the most important things in our view. We've got a history here of running short courses, and a few weeks ago we were walking around the NASA, the Mars landing space thing for our activities in the UK. There's a Mars rover landing strip, and we're very focused on corporate industry-based clients. So whether it's Rolls-Royce, NASA, or rocking and rolling on a mine site with BHP or Rio Tinto Anglo American, that's our mantra. So we started in 2008 with online, and I just want to again emphasize it is online, but we expect even more practical outcomes for you doing the online program. So we expect you to be even more practical, industry focused than a traditional university, even though we use the online technology. So it's really important. And our lecturers or instructors streaming from all over the world. And we've got students from 160 countries, and we've won some good awards recently against all the universities in Australia. And I just want to obviously ask Indu to say a few words. Indu, you could probably introduce yourself and then take over from here. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you all can hear me clearly. My name is Indu. I'm the Deputy Dean at EIT. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, both as an engineer as well as an educator in the engineering industry. As Steve mentioned before, I'm very passionate about engineering education and also making sure that the programs we design are focused with industry outcomes as well as, like Steve mentioned, job outcomes. I'm a little bit happy today because I saw one of my students who graduated from us not long ago has landed a really good job with the city of Fremantle at the ports. So I just saw the news on LinkedIn and, really happy to see that, people are landing really good jobs. But that's about me. Just to go back to what both Steve and as well as Tasipo mentioned earlier. So we are proud to be just focused on engineering and technology. So all our focus, all our efforts is all just engineering. We don't divert our focus into any other areas, which means that we can bring the best of what is available in engineering technology to you. One of our biggest focus is the industry-oriented program. So we run course and industry advisory committees who provide input into our course design, what should be in the course, what should be changed. And these course advisory committees are constantly running throughout the year for different programs. So you will see that there's always updates to our program. Our programs are not stagnant. That is one of our key, I would say, unique propositions. We make sure that students are graduating with what is current in the industry. We will talk a little bit more about accreditation later on, but I will pass it back to Steve.
Thanks. Just your background there. That's Indu's famous claims there. She's also doing finalizing her PhD, so she's been very focused. And I must say, Indu is always driven by job outcomes. So it's really great, Indu, to hear that student is now a graduate and has got a really good job. And Fremantle Ports, as you probably know, is probably one of the most automated ports in the world. It's rapidly becoming automated because of the shortage of good people to work the ports. So really, I think you do summarize most of this here, but we really are focusing on engineering. That's our main focus. You'll probably worry a little bit about online programs because there's massive fraud and all sorts of issues online, but we are very focused in engineering, and we have physical campuses. As I said, it's really important to realize that we are driven by practical outcomes. That is the only real drive. And Indu, as a matter of interest, has just sort of run the accreditation, and she'll talk about that a bit later with Engineers Australia, for the Dublin, Sydney and Washington Accords, which gives us credibility around the world. And we use the online methodologies even in our classrooms because it is the only way forward. You have to use the latest technologies and you have to harness them. We've got world-class Australian accredited education. And I'm not going to muddy the waters here, but the Intrepid team here is just, our sister college in the UK has just been awarded degree awarding powers in the UK as well. So we are very, very focused on global outcomes, not just little old Perth or Australia. We look at the world because the world is what engineering is about, not your own local area.
Sorry, Steve, just a sec. I think staff and audience are only seeing the very first couple of slides, which is the
Oh, really?
Yeah, common questions and FAQs. I
Okay,
think
I'm
if you
sorry.
can maybe take
Just move
control and
around.
then, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yep. Can you see the slides now, everyone? Ladies
Yeah,
and
now I
guys?
can see it moving. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
Steve.
Brilliant. Super. Thanks so much. Sorry about that, everyone. I live and learn every day, so sorry. My apologies for that. The obviously state of play here, and I've also got this lovely ability to circle things now, which I didn't have before. Thanks very much for that, Indu. It's a tough. Let's just talk about engineering as a career. It's tough. It's not easy. So if you want to do an easy degree, do not do engineering. It's hard, but the outcomes are very good. Remuneration is good. You can work anywhere in the world. Even if you do a law degree, you're stuck in Australia or the UK unless you do some international law degree. And even medicine, you'd think it would be open to anywhere in the world, but you generally end up in one location. It's really hard to work worldwide, whereas engineering is a true global career. And the other items are you can really do something significant in your career. There's such incredible change going on in technology, as you know. Problems are happening every day. Obviously, one of the challenges is that the stuff I learned 30, 40 years ago, unfortunately, doesn't really hack today. You need to constantly be retraining, reskilling yourself. Over to you, Indu, to break up my
Yeah.
monotone.
Yeah, just a couple of additions to this as well. As Steve said, there is a lot of change going on in the industry, not only with the AI side of things that's coming up, but also with the AI, there is rapid transformation in the automation space as well. But what is best about engineering is the fact that you are able to work with cutting edge technology, and there's always ongoing lifelong learning, be it on the job training or if you're upgrading yourself and you are trying to look for something to do on your hobbies. Engineers are usually often known to be tinkering around their garage and workshops trying to do something. There's always something to be doing. And also that you are going to have a career that is really going to be satisfying. Most of the people who are working in different jobs, they don't find the career satisfaction. But engineering is one of those few jobs where you actually do get job satisfaction because you are actually creating solutions to the world, the problems that we are facing in the world. And as you would know, it doesn't matter which part of the world you're from, we are seeing a lot of rapid change with the climate issues, as well as the changes that is coming up with the AI and economic changes. You've got your trade war side of things going on. But as engineers, you're always going to have something to contribute to the society to make the society better. And besides that, I think with the accreditations we have with the program as well, we make sure that our engineers are able to work anywhere in the world. So you do get global mobility with the accredited programs. And I will detail a little bit more about the accreditation in a minute. Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Indu. Yes, so certainly, as Indu said, it's a global career, and the great thing is creation of products and new things. And I always like to say, with the current massive tariffs that have been thrown up all over the world now, throwing everyone into a bit of a spin, never waste a good crisis. I'm sure there's going to be huge opportunities for engineers to come up with solutions for the massive tariffs that have been thrown up. So really, that's quite important to realize. Here's Indu's presenter. I think Indu's, as I said, she's been doing some incredibly novel work with EEG brainwaves. And I know I don't really want to mention his name. Mr. Musk has a AI-driven biological connections, and I'm sure Indu is sharing well, as steering clear of him. But you know, there's lots of opportunities. Maybe Indu, you could say a few words about your PhD.
Yeah, so my PhD is mainly on using electroencephalography. That's short for, or that's long term for EEG. What it does is measures the different waveforms in people's brains. You've got alpha wave, beta, gamma, theta waves. Each of the waves represents different states of mind that we are actually unaware of because we are just operating naturally. But the waves can detect whether or not you're paying attention, whether you're tired, whether you're sleepy, whether you're focused. And using those, the idea is to then be able to provide insights to both students as well as the teachers how students in a room are feeling. So overall, depending on the general student feedback, what we are seeing from the waves, we can then tweak what we are teaching to make the lessons more engaging, or the students themselves can take control of their learning. They can actually look at the data and see, oh, actually, this is the part I lost attention. Why? And they can actually reflect on what they're doing or go back and review that chapter so that they understand, oh, I actually was very tired that day, or I was not paying attention. So I need to refocus on that. So that's one of the areas of my focus of my research. There is a lot of further work with this technology as well for looking at, how you can train yourself to be more attentive in spaces spans of time, as well as to work with people like, people who have Parkinson's disease or people who have neurological diseases. So this device can actually span not just with education space, but also in the medical space. And that's something that we will be looking to explore further with our, hopefully, doctoral students. Thanks, Steve.
Great, thanks, Indu. Yeah, so basically it's all about learning. No matter what level you are in at EIT, we are all studying, we're all writing papers, we're all researching. It's really important. Let's just talk a bit about lifelong learning. So whether it's with EIT or anyone else, you study from the day you wake up, the day you're born, you're learning, and it will continue forever. And that's an incredible opportunity, I believe. It's all about curiosity, learning new things, and I cannot find anything more satisfying than learning new things. I mean, it's great things. I mean, there's a lot of pain in learning, as we know. It's not an easy process, but lots goes on. I don't know if you want to say anything about lifelong learning, Indu.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that's very important, especially with the rapid change that's going on now. I mean, I don't want to tell my age, but people who are born, a while ago, we might think that our parents had a lifelong career, one career, and that was it, or one type of job, and they had a bachelor's degree, for example, and that was it. But in today's world, it's, we always have to keep up to date with what's going on in the industry. Otherwise, you will be left behind. And especially with engineering space where you are going to be dealing with technology in and out, that's going to be critical as well. And part of this is reflected to in our course design, where we are introducing how to use AI within your discipline. And we also run a lot of technical webinars that's free for anyone, to public students, teachers, whoever else can attend, to keep up to date. And we do this because we really believe in the lifelong learning process. So it's not just about the degrees that you will join and learn, but you also have all sorts of opportunities to learn. Like Steve said, we've got doctoral engineering conference where researchers are being shared and what the students are researching on being shared. We've got the technical webinars, as well as, we've got courses that are up to date and making sure that our students, alumni, and public are up to date with what's going on in the world.
Yeah, thanks, Indu. So we're passionate about learning. So, it's about not just formal qualifications, but also interacting with our students. And as Indu says, we're from 160 countries around the world. It's absolutely phenomenal. And when we do road shows and we front up in these towns and we talk to our incredible students, whether it's Windhoek, London, Perth, or Melbourne, we meet the most incredible people doing the most amazing things with the qualifications. Now, Indu's busily creating new qualifications as we speak, with quite a lot of vigor, I might add, and we really are quite connected to industry. We try and connect to industry to try and understand what's going on. And in fact, it's not on this presentation, but we've got one of our marketing gurus, Carolina Asenio. She's analyzing job adverts around the world, and she's got a few 100,000 jobs she goes through every 3 months. pulls out all the skills requirements in those jobs, and then we look at tying our courses to those. So that's one of the drivers, is what does the job market want? And the best way to see what the job market was, analyze all the jobs. So that's what we're doing. Indu, you may want to say a few words about the different credentials here.
Yep. So what we have here is basically the lifelong learning journey, and the way we have designed our programs, you actually can, go in and out of different areas or levels of your education system. So we have students, for example, who actually already have a master's degree, sometimes come and join an undergraduate certificate or a professional certificate or an advanced diploma course, mainly because they find that there is, it's suitable for what they're doing. Maybe it's the practicality, or maybe it's the little topic that is relevant to them currently at their workplace as well. So there is a lot of progression here. So you can go from in an accredited kind of pathway, you can go from a diploma and progress all the way to a Doctor of Engineering. And diploma is usually a 12-month program. And then you can progress from there to an advanced diploma. And after advanced diploma, while you're, thinking about whether or not I want to do a bachelor's, would I enjoy it? You can try a 6-month undergraduate certificate, which actually gives you full credit into a Bachelor of Science, a 6-month credit into a Bachelor of Science. And then take the next step. So after Bachelor of Science, if you want to do a graduate certificate, again, the graduate certificate and graduate diploma are part of your master's degree. So you can take things gradually, and as you progress, add on more qualifications to your skills. And again, to top it off, then, complete a Doctor of Engineering program. That's our capstone program, where it reaches the highest level of qualifications. And that's basically, you have become, a doctor at whatever you're doing. Our Doctor of Engineering is very practical, industry-oriented program. So all our students work on problems that perhaps they are facing in their particular industry that they want to solve. They want to create novel solutions for that particular problem. So you will get to work with supervisors, both academia as well as industry supervisors, to make sure that you're able to succeed in that program. We've recently had our first 3 graduates from the Doctor of Engineering program. We started this in 2022. And yeah, we're very happy that students have completed this successfully. We currently have 77 students, and again, that's something that we are very proud of. The program has grown quite strongly year to year, and we see more to come. Just to add on to the new courses that are coming up as well. So we are looking at a Bachelor of Computer Systems Engineering for next year, as well as a Master of Research, an associate degree in electrical engineering, and we're also looking at a Master of Professional Engineering Management and a Bachelor of Mechatronics and Robotics as well. So those are all planned for early 2026.
Thanks,
Steve?
Indu. That's brilliant. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so basically, as Indu says, I always like the word she used, stoked. She's stoked about the number of students undertaking the Doctorate of Engineering. And it's not just a normal doctorate where you cast into the wilderness. It's actually a doctorate where we really want to work with you. And the doctorates are focused on industry problems. So real problems which are hassling us, that's where we are working. So it's a really useful thing. So let's just talk a bit about studying online at EIT, some of the issues there. As I said, it's online, but in fact, there's a huge practical component. I don't know if you can see this. I just want to show you, I just want to emphasize that we have kits. Can you all see this?
Yeah, we can see, Steve.
Oh,
We
good.
can,
Thank you, Brad.
Steve.
Can you all see this kit? This is a pneumatics kit. This is one of our things I brought into my office because I thought I need to just show that we actually have a very heavy issue with real world outcomes. So it's not just stuff in the sky. Hello, I'm connected to the internet. It's actually real world practical stuff we're working with. So it's online, but it's online with real equipment, real industry outcomes. So it's not just flim-flam stuff. So with our online learning methodology, I mean, obviously, I'll say a few words, and Indu's is right in the thick of it, in the front line there with the academics. And really, obviously, we try and have an interactive tutorial. So we recognized, unfortunately, the good old lecture hall where you have 200 or 400. I saw 400 in one of the universities the other day for a first year class, 400 students sitting there listening to a 45-minute lecture. Unfortunately, those days are long gone. You do need to realize that you can watch videos and then you have live interactive tutorials. So that's really important. And obviously expert lecturers, instructors, and obviously the other little secret weapon is our learning support officers. And I think Indu could probably say a few words about that, because that's actually something which makes a huge difference to our instructors. And our instructors focus on the teaching, interaction, but all the peripheral stuff which lecturers around the world are confounded with, we have our paraprofessional learning support officers deal with. So they deal with the students, deal with the materials, practicals, get everything together, ready. They are absolutely incredible support to the actual instructors, allowing them to focus on teaching and learning and interacting. And obviously the other thing is our remote virtual labs, which we give demonstrations on. And as we have also workshops with real equipment, and obviously e-learning collections. We've got stuff which is not accessed by ChatGPT that easily, and that is we've got some very good journal collections and books, I might add, all digital online. I don't know, Indu, if you want to say a few words there about the...
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, we do have small classes, which means that, as lecturers as well as support officers, we can know the students by their name. And if students are not attending classes, I can actually, give them a call and ask them, what's happening, why you're not attending. The good thing about small classroom is we can interact with individual students, and we can actually walk around and see what individual students are doing. You can't do that with the 400 people in a lecture theater. So our focus is always to make sure we have that personalized education for our students, because at the end of the day, we want our students to be successful in what they're doing. With the lecturers as well, like, our students are from 160 different countries. We do have an international pool of lecturers. And the reason behind this is our lecturers are not people who are just academics. They are currently involved in the industry, be it consulting in the industry, being it providing feedback for industry standards, working in the industry. So what they can give is real examples of what's going on in the workplace to our students. And so the global mobility of our lecturers, what that helps as well is bring a global perspective for our students. Students can understand what is going on around in the world, and they don't have to think, within their own domain or little geographical location. Similarly, we can bring the expert lecturers from any part of the world. We're not isolated to just Perth, Western Australia. We're not isolated to just Australia. We can bring, so we've got lecturers from America, we've got lecturers from Spain, we've got lecturers from Dubai, all over the place. Not only are they able to help us with different time zones of teaching, but also with the expertise that we are looking for. So that's one of, I think, our strengths in what we do. And similarly, our secret weapon, as Steve always mentions, is our learning support officers. So learning support officers are the connection between a student and a lecturer, because your lecturer may not always be available because they are, professionals in the industry. They have a different job to do as well. But our learning support officers will be there to guide you throughout your whole journey of learning, be it that you need extension, or be it that you need, to talk about some issues that you're going on that you need help with, some support with. They will be your first point of contact to deal with as well. And then the workshops and remote virtual labs are another enhanced complementary thing that you have for your practical education, where kits like this, you can access them from any part of the world, anytime, 24/7. Yeah, you just have to go in, book your laboratory time, and you don't have to worry about, breaking the system, because we will fix on our end. But what this allows is you are able to log in anytime, practice as many times as you want, work on any problems that you have. And the best thing is we don't isolate our software based on discipline or which classes you're enrolled in. When you log on to a remote lab, you can access any software that is there. So say I'm in electrical engineering, but I want to learn CAD software. I can do that. There are resources available to teach me on the remote labs, to tell me how to use the software, as well as I have free access to the full AutoCAD that I can go and use anytime, anywhere. So that's the best thing. And I always tell my students, utilize what is available to you. We've got a whole huge collection of e-library. Read any books that you want, read any journal papers you want, use any software you want. I think that's one of the best things that people underutilize, but I strongly encourage you to fully utilize these facilities available to you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Indu.
Steve.
That's a very good summary. So as Indu says, the remote labs, virtual labs are pretty well critical to us. So it means everything today is connected with IoT. Can anyone tell me what IoT is? Just text it in the box. What is IoT? What's it? Just type it in the box if you can remember it. That is, every bit of equipment today is IoT, and it means that it's connected to the internet. And that means we've got huge opportunity to do labs online as well as physically. I mean, you still need to handle, yeah, thank you very much, Nolan Ramza Roop, Internet of Things. So we still use this to tighten a nut or a bolt on a pump. But at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff you do is connected to the internet through your phone. And that makes a huge difference. So we have both. We have the Internet of Things plus physical labs equipment that you have to work with as well. So as I said, it may be called an online program, but we believe there's more intense practical outcomes than a traditional university. That's really important to pick up. And as Indu says, the simulation software that we have, it hasn't happened overnight, I might add. It's been a long, drawn-out process. But one of the accrediting engineers of looking at our range of software a few weeks ago said, I don't understand how you guys could have so many packages available. And it's because we just built it up slowly, mechanically over many, many years. Obviously, it costs money because you have to get all the licenses, but it means it adds value to your journey as a student. So that's really important to pick up. It is really important there. I don't know, Indy, if you want to say anything else about these labs.
Yeah, so these labs, we actually host them in different parts of the world just to make sure that we reduce the latency so students don't feel frustrated with, perhaps how slow it is and whatnot. And to be honest, I mean, nothing is ever going to be perfect with the, students joining from different parts of the world every day. But so what we do is to get feedback from students and continue to improve our labs, every year. So if you do have feedback, please do, let us know. You don't have to wait for the feedback session to let us know. You can always contact us and let us know if you want any changes in the labs or any of your courses as well. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's important. I must say, labs can be a problem because obviously if you've got 30 students wanting to finish an assignment by Monday morning, they have to submit it. Of course, they'll all be using their labs at midnight on Sunday night. So we've obviously got to make sure we have match the actual demand for the lab. So that's always a great challenge, which we take on with great joy. And obviously you need to match the, match the loading as the internet people would say. Indu's already spoken about learning support officers, but I must say they do make a huge difference. And whenever we get wonderful warm fuzzies coming in from our students, every day we get little comments coming in. Thank you very much. They often will be saying thank you to a learning support officer for supporting them through sometimes really tough personal times. So people are not machines. They have horrible things happen to them, and our learning support officers are there to support them wherever they are. And they are extremely dedicated, lovely people. So, and these are some of the quotes from some of the students. They really are good comments. Here's a few comments about why students choose EIT. I suppose at the end of the day, you must never trust us for what we say. You have to do your research as to where you want to study. And it may not be us, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to do it. But we do have a lot of evidence, and maybe Indu could chat about a bit about this, but independent evidence.
So this is actually a results from what we call as Quality Indicator for Learning and Teaching survey. So every university and higher education provider in Australia participates in this. And what it shows is actually among all the engineering providers in Australia, we've been voted as #1 for student satisfaction in postgraduate engineering, as well as Australian provider for graduates and full-time employment for undergraduate engineering programs, and then top 3 in quality education experience and top 3 in student support for postgraduate engineering programs. Again, like Steve said, this is our students telling us what they find us and how they rate us. And we are really proud to be having this result, because we are passionate about what we do, and we always think about students as the as what we call as our center of our universe. We make sure that students get the right education and they get the job outcomes, and it's really good to see that students get that and are happy with what we provide.
Absolutely. As Indu says, the student is sovereign. Many years ago, I did a business degree, and on it we had a very famous retailing wizard who built up a billion dollar business. And he said the most important thing with every college business, whatever you do, is always focus on your customer. The customer is sovereign. And I don't think it's any mistake that Oxford University and Cambridge University became one of the top universities in the world, because they actually started off in the early days. The students actually founded the universities. Can you believe it? The students actually founded the universities, and the students actually hired the staff to work. That is in the 1400s, very, very far long ago. But at the end of the day, the student is the most critical thing. And we don't just talk it, we actually practice it. We make mistakes, but we do hear the students and we try and react. Sometimes it's impossible to do things which they want, but we will do our best, because at the end of the day, that's what makes or breaks any institution. That's the most important thing. It's no mistake that in the UK, for example, the main regulator for education is called the Office for Students, because they focus on students. They know that's where your success is. Accreditation. Now, Indu's going to talk a bit about accreditation, because I think it's quite important, and it gives you a bit of a stamp of quality. And at the last visit, I'm always proud to say that we had 13 wise women and men fly across from the eastern states to Perth to do the accreditation visit from our professional accrediting body, Engineers Australia. So they give you professional recognition, accreditation. And I'm always proud to say that a few of them broke out crying. They started crying when they saw the success of a lot of the students. So, that's because they saw that the value of these programs to students, wherever they are in the world, actually was tangible. It was really making a difference to families, people, and that's amazing. But maybe Indu, having successfully received the notification about 2 weeks ago, from Engineers Australia.
I might actually, take control and go to the next slide.
Sure.
Or if you can go to the next slide, Steve.
Can you take control?
I'll do the take control. Thank you.
Stop presenting. Over to you.
Right. So if you all can see.
Yeah, I can see internationally recognized programs. Yep.
Yep, thank you. So as Steve mentioned, we did have a huge review of our programs with Engineers Australia late October last year, and we've got a formal outcome of that review. And what we have is we've got 5 programs in the advanced diploma fully accredited with the Dublin Accord. What that means is students engaging in this program and graduating in these 5 programs, they come out as engineering associates, and they are able to have the accord recognized in any of the countries that are part of the International Engineering Alliance mutual recognitions. So for example, we know that South Africa is part of that recognition. We've got Sri Lanka, we've got Singapore, we've got USA, UK. So you can go to those countries and get your qualification recognized easily. So if you need, for example, to be registered in a specific country to work, that can happen much quicker. These program recognitions, as Steve mentioned, are not easy. So we've got 13 panel members coming and reviewing our programs, ripping it apart, giving us recommendations of what we need to further improve and whatnot. But getting the full recognition is a quality of seal to show that our programs meet the international quality standards under the International Engineering Alliance. So that's a difficult thing to achieve, but we have achieved that for our Dublin Accord programs, 5 of them. They are listed here. So we've got our industrial automation, electrical engineering, civil and structural, mechanical, and apply electrical engineering in the power industry. So there's 5 programs which are under the Dublin Accord. Similarly, the 4 of our Bachelor of Science programs that we are running are under the Sydney Accord, full accreditation. And again, that is, you will graduate as an engineering technologist. We offer slightly different type of program. We offer a 3+2 model, so 3-year Bachelor of Science. And then if you want to become a professional engineer, you can go forward and do your 2-year Master of Engineering. Then again, the 4 Master of Engineering that we offer in electrical, industrial automation, mechanical, and civil, they are fully accredited under Engineers Australia under the Washington Accord. The reason we do the 3+2 model is we want the students to be in the job force as quick as possible. There's 2 reasons for that. One is, obviously the quicker you are in a job force, you're more independent in terms of financially, but also you get that engineering experience much quicker. And as you get the engineering experience, then you can decide, where, you want to do a master's and go further, and you can do this part-time while you're working in the industry as well. So we prefer the 3+2 model, and that's what we run with. All right. So again, after all this, if you're still thinking why EIT, I think, firstly, it's an internationally endorsed Australian qualification. So you know that the quality is really high. You will get value out of what you're doing. Practical relevant courses. And as I mentioned, we're always constantly improving our courses with industry input into it. And that gives an additional value to it. And like I said, we don't usually use the industry just from Australia. Again, our industry is international as well. You get the lectures from instructors from around the world, so you get a global perspective. And again, like I showed, we've got now 8 plus 5, 13 programs under accredited with Engineers Australia, full accreditation. That gives a real breadth of different qualifications that you can choose from. Access to lots of references, as Steve mentioned, as well as, like we said, we've got a really supportive environment for you to continue in learning. And there's also a lot of support for women in engineering. So look at our scholarships page for that as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Indu. Yes, so certainly this 3+2 model is really an interesting one. And I just want to say a few words about it because I think it is important, as Indu says. So basically, a standard engineering degree in Europe or Australia or America is 4 years for a Bachelor of Engineering. So you may say, well, why don't you do that? Well, the reason why we do it is because we believe that most jobs, after 3 years, you can start working, get your cash flow going positive as soon as possible. So we think that's really important. So it is critical that we think a 3-year is workable. And then when your boss at your new company says, hey, where's your 4-year program? You can say, I'm actually starting my online master degree, which is also accredited. So I'm going to end up with a master degree, not a 4-year engineering degree, a master degree as well. And that will give you that edge in the job market. So we think it works. And in fact, the University of Melbourne has a 3+2 model, and they're probably arguably the biggest engineering, one of the biggest engineering programs in Australia. So I think it has merit. Obviously, you need to decide. Anyway, I think what we want to do now is we want to hand over to Ms. Nkomo. I think, Cheppy, is that right?
Definitely. Guys, please note I have just reshared the slides. So I'm going through the slides as we speak so that I can bring Nozibusiso on. However, whilst I'm doing that, guys, I'd just like to mention that our student ambassadors are picked by our academics as well as the lecturers and our college campus manager. So we don't just pick them from a list of students and we just randomly pick. These are people who we have vetted. We've gone into our systems to check their coursework. So they're actually people who are doing an amazing job in their fields as well as have done well in their academics at EIT. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to Nozibusiso Nkomo. She is one of our student ambassadors for 2025, and she will be telling you a little bit more about her study at EIT as well as her work experience in the field of engineering. Nozibusiso, you can take control of the slide as well as start your presentation for this portion of the virtual open week.
Welcome, Nozi. Really good to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity that they have given me. I am a student at EIT currently. So my role here, I am a student ambassador that was nominated for 2025. So thank you for this opportunity just to share with students, because you've already heard from them how good is EIT. So I think it will be very good for you, for all of you to hear from one of the students so that maybe you will understand more. Okay, and then I will start with my first slide to say that how did I do my research? Because as Steve said, that we have to do our own research just to see if EIT is the right institute for us to do engineering. There is one thing that he said engineering is not easy, but it's about learning each and every day. The more you learn, the more you earn. So that's it about engineering. Don't look at it like maybe it's hard. I am at work currently. So I am currently working, but I'm also studying, and it's helping me a lot. So why I've joined EIT, I was nominated as one of the project lead at South 32 in Australia. And then I asked one of my colleagues, where are you studying? Because I can see that you are studying engineering. And then he referred me to EIT. So I did my own research. And then that is where now I enroll. I started with enrolling for advanced mechanical engineering diploma, where I finished it last year. So I'm currently doing my bachelor. The engineering diploma, what have taught me, it has taught me a lot of things, especially about engineering. It's not like maybe just a theory, it's a hands-on. So as they shared that there are a lot of things that you can learn on the labs. Utilize the labs, utilize the time that you have, and then it will help a lot. So my passion in mechanical engineering, I wanted to gain more skills. That is why I chose mechanical engineering, especially the diploma, because I had a diploma, but I wanted to do the advanced diploma. And I've done masters for MBA. It wasn't that exciting for me. So I needed something that was more exciting. And then I find engineering is more exciting for me. Experience-wise, currently I am in the lead of planning. So I am in maintenance side, but I'm looking for to move over to the reliability side, as I have done my my diploma, my advanced diploma, and then I will also move over to the management of asset management. So this slide is just about the challenges that you face each and every day. If you're working as a human being, it's hard to be a mom, it's hard to be a student, it's hard to be a worker. So you have to juggle all three things at the same time. So what I normally do, I just make sure that I prioritize, and then I prioritize everything accordingly. So I will just share one moment where I was doing the advanced diploma. I was nominated as the lead for the project, because there is a project that is assigned for each and every team. And in that project, I had to lead the whole team. And I'm talking about people that are on different countries, of which now the first thing when there was a challenge is time. How do I make sure that we are aligned on time and then we engage? Everybody's fully engaged. I created a WhatsApp group, of which some of the people, they were sleeping when I'm sending a WhatsApp on this side, of which it was a challenge as well to say like, oh God, so how do I get all of these people involved? And then we kept on engaging, and then until we find a correct slot that will be suitable for everyone. And it helped me a lot to manage this team, because it's also taught me how to lead people, how to get everyone involved, especially on the task like this. So what I did there, I included the visual meetings. I also did with I also utilized the WhatsApp, and then we also communicated, because I created a folder where we can share all the things because I have to assign each and every task to each and every individual. And everybody was excited because if we met like twice a week on Wednesday and then Friday, everyone, when they are coming on Wednesday and Friday, they were coming to deliver. They knew what was expected from them. It was a team effort and it worked very well. And especially the most important part, it was the effective communication. It was very crucial because we are not on the same time zone. We are not on the same country, and then we had to understand and then accommodate each other, and it helped me a lot.
Sorry, Nozi, can I
Yes.
just interrupt? I just want to, your slides, I don't think have been cycled through. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see take control. You can take control, then you can cycle the slides. Otherwise, I'll do it for you
Okay,
if you
because
want. I'll cycle them for you if you want.
Yes.
I'll just do them. Just tell me to change. I'm
Yes,
going
I've
to take
done it.
control. So there we. Okay, now can you see here from our EIT Student Ambassador? I'm
Yes.
going to change.
Please.
And can you share a moment? Which side
Yes,
you want me
that is the
to?
one.
Just tell me to change,
Yes.
and I'll change.
This
I'll
one.
change with
Yes.
that one.
The
Just
next one.
say change, and I'll
Okay.
change.
The next
No
one,
worries.
please.
Okay,
Steve,
next
the
one.
next
No
one.
worries. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, and then on this slide, it's about like, what advice can I give to any student that are still thinking, or maybe to those students that have already like enrolled, but they are not sure if maybe they have to go through, or maybe they're still deciding what to do. So my advice is just to engage. Make sure that once you have enrolled from the beginning, don't wait maybe for a month later, because the more you wait, the more delay is happening, because and then you lose out. So it is very important from the beginning. Just make sure that you engage, and then you make sure that you balance your studies, especially when you are working and then also you are studying at this time. Make sure that you prioritize your work, you prioritize also your studies, because there are two classes that are available for us. There is one during the day, and then there is another class that is available. When I'm looking at the South African time, it's available at 9. So there are different time zones. If you miss the one that is happening during the day, you can catch up on the one that is happening in the evening. So make sure that there is that flexibility. So you don't have any excuse to say that I'm not able to attend, because even if you didn't attend, you can do the catch up later and listen to the recordings, and then make sure you write down the notes and send it to say that you've listened to the recording and this is what you've learned. And then so this journey have enriched educational journey, and then I have grown personally. I am very grateful because I have grown in the engineering field as well. Steve, next one. Okay. So on the next one, it's about just understanding about the broad perspective, to say that, okay, fine, what is it that is going on the EIT? So now looking at this in the mechanical, I'll speak specifically about mechanical engineering because that's what I'm doing. For me, it helped me a lot, especially utilizing the lab, and then also my technical skills and my problem-solving ability. It changed a lot, because now I am involved in root cause analysis. I am also involved in all the problem solving at the plant, because if they've got a problem with a specific equipment, I'm taking that knowledge that I've gained here and then also utilizing it at the plant, and then it helped me a lot. And then the one thing that I'm also grateful for, the lecturers, they give us a chance to ask during the class. They give us a chance. You can even send the emails as well to say that, please help me, I've got a problem with this. And also the support that we've got with different students, with each other, we've got a good support. So teamwork and effective communication, that is the best thing. So what I can give, maybe advice that I can give to any student that have already enrolled with EIT, make sure that you balance your studies and also balance with your work as you are working full time. Please don't maybe try to say that you are skipping one of the class, because when you have to do the catch up, it's a lot of work. It's better for you to be there all the time if you can, so that it will help you a lot. So what was my favorite aspect of studying in this course, especially the diploma, the advanced diploma? It helped me a lot because I had to engage with different people in my class. with different lecturers, and then also it allowed me to apply the theoretical knowledge, because I was more on the theory part, even though I'm coming from the background as an artisan. But now, studying at EIT, it helped me a lot, because there are things that are like AutoCAD. I didn't even know how to utilize the AutoCAD, and it helped me a lot because I use that in the lab. I normally went there on the lab just to practice the AutoCAD so that I can master it. I enjoyed it so much. The remote labs are the best for me. The next one, Steve, please. Okay. Yeah.
I do believe this is my slide. Thank you so much, Nozi. It's always a pleasure hearing from our students and the experiences, because in as much as we can tell you how the program is run or how the course is, it's always great to hear from someone who's actually done the course and they're able to retell the experience about how it was studying with us. So the slide is for the certificate of attendance, ladies and gentlemen. It is up on your screen. Please note, as I've mentioned, Steve, I think you just stopped my presentation. Let me just share this.
I'm sorry. I was handing it over to you. I'm very sorry, Chippy. Please forgive me. Can we say a few final words before you let everyone go out of class?
Definitely, you can do that. Let's just see.
I just want to thank, you can finish off and then I'll thank Nozi, obviously.
Okay, no problem then. So the link up on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is for the certificate of attendance. As I have mentioned, you will receive them next week. All you guys need to do is fill in the survey associated with the link. There's a QR code as well as the link that is on the screen. Please note that you can utilize either of those two and they will work. We have checked that the links are working. I've also left it in the chat box. So I'm just going to pin the comment where I have all the details in order to reach out to us, as well as speak to our course advisors or register for the upcoming sessions for the virtual open week, because we'll have sessions all through the week. So please use the links that I have provided for you guys. If you have any further questions, you can leave them on the chat box for Steve and Indu to answer. However, Indu has been doing an amazing job at answering the questions as they come. So if you want any clarity on your questions, you can just say that and then we'll be able to assist. However, everything has been answered in the chat box as well as the Q&A function. The link, as I've mentioned, because I do know that you guys will be asking, has been left in the chat box as well. I'm just going to quickly pin it so that you guys have access to it even after the presentation has concluded. Steve, you can go ahead and answer some questions if you have seen some that you'd like to, or some closing remarks, that is.
Thanks so much, Ms. Marathi. I really appreciate you choreographing the session so ably. I was intimidated by your prowess here. Thank you very much. And obviously, I just want to thank Nozibusiso Nkomo. I think it was a fantastic presentation from the heart. What struck me, actually, I didn't realize that you mentioned that you were an artisan or a tradie, as they say here in Australia.
Yes.
And that's amazing. And there's no doubt in my mind that if you're a tradesperson or an artisan, and then you're building on a diploma and a degree, you would be the best because you have that incredible practical insight into real stuff. And
Yes.
believe me, with the incredible movement of AI changing the world, it's going to be very hard for AI to tighten a nut and a bolt of a centrifugal compressor. So, you know, there's huge joy in those skills that you get working as a tradesperson or an artisan, as they say in Southern Africa, and that is incredible. So you will do extraordinarily well, and also in your leadership skills, coordinating those groups. So thank you very much for telling us and speaking from your heart. And I think that's magnificent. And I also just want to thank my co-presenter, Indu. She's passionate about engineering education, as you would have seen, and I'm always also intimidated by her prowess in the teaching field. So she loves what she does, and I'm very appreciative. So thank you very, very much, one and all, for listening in. It's a privilege and a joy working with students and staff. Thank you very much. That's all from me. I'll pass the microphone over to Indu to say the closing words. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Steve. And yeah, thanks everyone for taking your time to join today to learn more about who EIT is and what we offer. There are many other sessions available throughout this week. So if you are interested in any specific type of program or specific discipline, again, please do tune into one of those sessions to hear more. And I do want to congratulate Nozi on her incredible journey on becoming an engineer. And I'm really happy to see that there's one more female engineer to the pool of engineers. And Tasipo, thank you very much for coordinating this. I think it's, yeah, you've done a great job. And thank you, Steve, as well for co-presenting. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. I think I have a question, guys. My apologies. I think Kenneth has been asking the same question 3 times now. He'd like to know regarding accreditation for the professional certificates. Yeah, that's his question. He'd like to know why the professors have not been accredited as of yet. Can you guys perhaps just go over that question?
Yes. So
Yes,
professional
Steve.
certificates are meant to be short programs that you're able to upskill in anything. Is a professional development type of course, more like continuous professional development, your CPDs. Now, accreditation takes time. You know, no matter how big or small the program is, there's a rigorous process we have to follow through. But sometimes by the time we get an accreditation for a program, the hot topic is no longer hot anymore. Whereas our professional certificates, which are designed to be for anyone to, you know, tag on to what is hot in the market, what is up and coming, to be ahead of the curve, we offer them as professional certificates, which are not accredited. But what we do is actually take some of these popular programs and then integrate them into our accredited programs. And you will see some of our professional certificates offer you credits into our accredited programs. But the main reason for professors not being accredited is because we want something short, sweet, quick to keep up with the industry. And that's one of the reasons.
And I just want to say also, under certain circumstances, they are accredited, and Indu can disagree with me here, because you can actually use them for RPL. So if you've done the exams, if you've done a particular course, whether it's one of our professional certificates, and you've got evidence to show that you've done it, and you've done the assessments, not just tick the box type assessments, but real assessments, we can probably RPL you for those. So it's not impossible to give credit for a professional certificate, as long as you've got the evidence that you've done the work. Indu, what's your take on that?
No, agree. So our professional certificates are as rigorous as our bachelor units, and you know they've got assessments in there. They go for similar type of length. As Steve mentioned, as long as you've got the evidence for what you've completed, and depending on where you're looking for credits, that's where we can offer you credits. But the purpose of a professional certificate to a bachelor's degree or an accredited program is completely different. So that's, I think, one of the main differences you need to see. What is your purpose for seeking an accredited program? So if it is for specifically you want to get recognition for something, you may want to consider our shorter programs like a graduate certificate or an undergraduate certificate, which are accredited programs. Hopefully that's answered, Kenneth.
Yeah, no, I think that's
he did say, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And just lastly from my end, Kenneth, you can also check on our website. Some of the professional certificates we have can also be RPL'd if you choose to do a bachelor's degree, but please check, and then you may be able to apply for some CPD points if you complete one of our prof sets. All the information is available on the EIT website. You just need to find out from your coordinator and they will be happy to assist you. I'm just going to answer some questions regarding turnaround time on applications. Guys, we have 2 types of applications at EIT. You either have the online or the on-campus application. For the online application, you should normally get feedback from the team between 14 to 21 business days. That depends on how many applications there are. However, for HE courses, the admissions team really does get back to students within 7 to 14 business days, and they will provide you with feedback on your your application. For on-campus applications, because they are different and we utilize agents in order to submit those applications, the turnaround time might be longer, especially because the processes that we follow are slightly different. But I will have Barry get back to Bramwell today so that he's able to answer any questions he has regarding on-campus applications. As I've mentioned, all links have been provided. They are pinned in the chat function. You guys are able to reach out to us and the team will be happy to assist you with any questions you might have. We really would be happy to answer the questions you might have regarding enrolling at EIT or hearing regarding your feedback or turnaround time on applications. If that is it, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending. Thank you to Indu and Steve as well as Nozi. It really was a pleasure. We will see you on the next sessions. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.